Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 21 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day, Dan and Sarah D. Thank you guys so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we think you're awesome. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day like Dan and Sarah, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. And it is a special day to be house guest of the day. It's basically a national holiday in the BB world anyway. Happy birthday to Rockstar's daughter! What? So much fun, right? I hope she's having a great day today. So when we left off yesterday, I just want to say too, it's so funny that that was such an epic weekend in Big Brother history, because we've got some like legend making moves in this spoiler. So I feel like every season now, maybe this is gonna be like a big weekend. I don't know. So when we left off yesterday, Cliff was preparing for the nomination ceremony. He's planning on making a big move. He's gonna leave it all on the dance floor. And he wants to target Jack. So he's just trying to figure out at this point who to put up next to him. So he's pretty much figured out his target and everything, but he's also trying to navigate through the activity powers. Ugh! He knows about Christie's and what it does, but he doesn't know about Jack's. And just to remind you guys, Jack's power is the veto redraw. So after they pick players for the power of veto competition, if he doesn't like the lineup, he can be like, excuse me, I want to pick again. So it's essentially a mulligan. And he can use it once, I think until final 6. So this power lasts for a long time. It's not like super powerful, but he can use it once over a long period of time. All right. Also, just a reminder before we really dive in here, have-nots have finally begun. And the first 4 for the season, Jackson, Tommy, Kat, and Christie, and I believe they all volunteered. So because they're have-nots, they're gonna be eating slop for a week. They're gonna be sleeping in the have-not room, which is Camp Comeback, and they're also going to be taking cold showers. So have fun doing your sex in the cold showers. All right. So Cliff, he's got a few goals in mind this week. Of course, he wants to take out a big player, but he's also trying to get a group together. He wants to set himself up for the following weeks to come. So he's got something pretty good going, he feels like, with Kat, Jess, and Nicole, because they're all outsiders. It's not like a solid thing yet, but he feels like he can bounce ideas off of them. Hopefully they'll vote the way he wants them to. But he keeps reminding them, if we don't stick together, all those other players in the big majority are gonna pick us off one by one. And he's right. So he also wants to work with Sam, Nick, and Bella, at least for now. You know, he's not too keen on aligning with Nick and Bella after everything that happened. Let's not forget, Nick put him up on the block. He was pretty much expendable last week. Like, Cliff wasn't his target after the POV, but he didn't care about him enough to put him up on the block. And honestly, before the POV, Cliff was the target. So anyway, Cliff was talking to Sam in the HOH room, and he lets him know he's leaning towards Jack as his primary target. And secondary, maybe Mickey. Woo! So also, Mickey volunteered to go up on the block, but he really meant like against Nick or Bella or Sam. But Cliff might just throw him up next to Jack, and that's hilarious. So Cliff lets Sam know, hey, I want to work with you, Nick and Bella. I think we could get something going here. We got to break up the super majority, or else. So he says, I gotta take a chance, or else we're just gonna get picked off one by one. And you know, of course he's thinking about those activity powers, but he's also telling himself, I have no control over that, so I'm just gonna do what I can do, and then if somebody uses a power, I'm just gonna have to adapt and figure something out. And honestly, Cliff has so many potential targets to go after. Does it really matter if a power is used? I mean, it matters, but like, he's got so many people he can target. So Sam is thinking that Christie and Tommy could even be on board with voting out Jack, because Christie has had a lot of conversations with Sam about wanting someone else to take out Jack, and that is true. She has definitely made that known to Sam over and over and over again. The question is she legit? Is she being honest about it? I have a hard time believing that she would want to take out Jack this early in the game. Maybe like further down, because she wouldn't want to be in the finals with him. But I don't think she would want to get rid of him this early because he's like obsessed with her. He will do whatever she wants. So she doesn't want to get rid of him at this point. But anyway, Sam lets Cliff know about Grateful. He shares how he found out about it by accident from Jack. Remember when they were in the storage room and Jack was like, I just want to do whatever's best for Grateful. For the 9. But he doesn't share how Bella was actually the one that told him about Grateful before that. He doesn't want to go around advertising, number 1, how close he is to Bella, and number 2, how big of a mouth Bella has, even though everybody already knows. So he kept that part secret. But Sam says he knows that he's at the bottom of that group. He was number 9 in an 8-person alliance. And he was really hurt that Nick and Bella didn't even tell him about it. I mean, they did, but it took a while. So he says he was only sticking around with that big majority group because that was all he had. But he's excited to like get something else going here. And I think he legitimately is. I think he would like to start something else up and take out some of the people from that big group. So Cliff says, yeah, I'm fully aware that there's an 8. I think everybody who has eyes can see that. So he says, yeah, we're obviously not part of it, but with this past vote, a huge crack formed. And he says, I'm siding with Nick and Bella for now, but hopefully the 8 will continue to target each other. Cliff is playing this pretty smart because if he just took out Nick or Bella, who's the 6 gonna target next? They're gonna target the outsiders like Cliff and Nicole and Jess and Kat, blah, 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 whatever. So if he targets somebody from the 6th, he's hoping that the 6th will still want to go after Nick and Bella will still want to go after the 6th. So I think that's probably his best bet, right? I mean, it's risky, but the other option isn't that great either. So then downstairs, the 6 shooters are scrambling as Tommy brings the news that 2 of them are likely going to go up. So Jack says, well, it's probably going to be me and Jackson going up. And Jackson says, all right, we got to bring Cliff into the alliance. We have no choice. Oh, you're hilarious. Do you really think that Cliff is going to want to be another freaking hanger-oner on your alliance that already has like a million hanger-oners? No. Especially since you just voted him out. So Jackson says all 6 of us need to go up there right now and have him join the alliance. And Tommy's like, I feel like that's gonna come off really aggressive, and Cliff is smart. It's gonna rub him the wrong way. I don't think we should do that. So Tommy says this week is more about the veto. You know, if 2 of them go up on the block as the initial nominees, it sucks, but fine. They still have the veto, and he's hoping they will be able to get Nick or Bella on the block after said veto. Tommy says that when he was talking to Cliff, Cliff sounded open to a potential backdoor at some point, you know, depending on who won the veto. I don't think so, but Cliff has been telling them that. So they're realizing, whoa, Christie's pretty much gonna have to use her power to keep all of them safe this week, because if the renom is up to Cliff, he can just put up another one of the 6 and one of them will definitely be going. So they're thinking, you know what, I think Christie will do it because everybody knows that she has it and it's gonna look really bad if she doesn't use it to save her allies. I bet Christie is really regretting telling everyone at this point. Okay, so then Tommy's like, how will Cliff look to America if he takes Nick and Bella's side after everything that went down? You were all involved, okay? You were all involved. Yes, Nick and Bella had those like in-person confrontations with Nicole, but like the 6 shooters were all involved in dragging Nicole through the mud and leading to that. So I just think it's hilarious how they keep trying to say that they're going up against these bullies, Nick and Bella, and they're playing with integrity and morals when they're like just as bad. It's hilarious. So this is another fun little thing. Jack is still convinced that Cliff is America's player because he got a bunch of like USA and like flag stuff in his HOH basket. Maybe he just likes America. Get over yourself. So they feel like if they can get Nick or Bella up on the block, at least one of them, they'll have the numbers to get rid of Nick or Bella. I don't know, we'll see. So then Christie was talking to Sis and Jackson, and they know they have to convince Christie to use her power this week. So Jackson's like, oh, your power might be the only thing to save the six. And they agree, okay, somebody from our group is gonna have to win the veto this week, because it's not like a classic Diamond POV where she can just like use it and she picks the renom. She can turn a veto into a Diamond POV, so whoever the veto holder is, that person will be naming the replacement nominee. So it has to be someone that they trust. So they're like, oh, someone in the group is gonna have to win it, and then they plan on putting up Bella as their replacement nominee. So Jackson's like, well, I hope Cliff realizes that he can either have 6 to 8 people with him or 6 to 8 people against him. Well, you voted him out. He had 6 people against him and he was evicted. Why would he freaking trust you moving forward? Is this time gonna be different? I don't think so. So then Jack comes in and he says, wow, we have literally served Cliff the alliance that he wanted on a silver platter, because by voting Cliff out, Sam, Nick, and Bella were also not involved in that blind side, so it just like automatically bonds them together. And they remember hearing during Cliff notes that he was potentially thinking about working with Sam, Nick, and Bella. So he says, wow, we basically set that up ourselves. So he says if Cliff shoots his shot, he shoots his shot. And Christie says, if that happens, we'll put on our big boy or big girl pants and we'll play Big Brother. It's easy to say when you got that activity power in your back pocket. So then Sam checks in with Christie and they're comparing notes on their conversations with Cliff. And Sam says, I told Cliff that this is his chance to turn the minority into the majority and vice versa. Christie says, yeah, I mean, I'll vote however Cliff wants me to. I call BS on that. I don't think that Christie wants Jack to go if it can be avoided. I don't see her dumping him this early. So Christie says if Jack and Jackson go up, she knows that they're gonna be on her shit to use her power and to try and save one of them. She says she's not gonna do it. She wants to save it for her own safety, because after this week, there's still gonna be 2 more power veto ceremonies that she can use this at. So, I mean, if she uses it this week and then next week she finds herself up on the block, oh well. So she's not sure that she wants to use the power on somebody else. Is she serious here or is she blowing smoke? I think she really doesn't want to have to use it, but I think she probably would if she, you know, had to use it on one of her allies. Sam says this is our opportunity to take out one of the big guys, which is something that, again, he has been talking about with Christie, and she has said, like, yeah, I want someone else to do our dirty work and take out Jack or Jackson. So Christie says, let's let Cliff take a shot this week. Alright, so then Nicole and Cliff had a game chat. I've been waiting for this. So Cliff says, man, hell of a dance schedule today. He told somebody else his dance card was filling up. He said a lot of people suddenly are wanting to be my best friend. That's because he's boss hog, right? Also, he doesn't really have like a set alliance right now, so everybody thinks that they can get in his ear and get him to do what they want. So Nicole lets him know everyone is downstairs right now comparing notes about what you did say to them, what you didn't say to them, and she tells him, I'm gonna be straight up, I hope this doesn't bite me in the butt, but this is what I'm seeing right now. There's the 6, there's the 3, which is Sam, Nick, and Bella, and then there's you. And she says the 6 are trying to pull me in, the 3 are trying to pull me in, and obviously Nicole already had a deal with Cliff. I believe they actually had like a final 2. That was like really early on. So then Cliff is like, I know I know you're in a weird spot this week in between all of these groups. And he says this week his emotional desire is not syncing up with his rational desire. So he says both of us got put up by the same person last week. You really got dragged through the mud. And he says, I don't respect Nick and Bella's gameplay. He doesn't like it. But from a numbers standpoint, he's gonna have to work with them this week because he's really, really trying to break up that 6. And Nicole says, I understand that. You know, I see that as well. I'm with it. So Cliff makes it clear that does not mean he is working with Nick and Bella long term. It's not like an official alliance, but he's got to work with them this week in order to break up the 6. So Cliff says, I guess I'm gonna have to lie with some snakes this week. Ooh, sounds gross. All right, so then Cliff tells us what he's thinking. It's so much safer for him to talk to the cameras from the HOH room. He still could work on keeping his voice down a little bit. You're wearing a microphone, so it's okay. We can hear you if you whisper, but at least he's up in the HOH, right? So he says, am I torn? I don't think so. I think I've made my decision. I'm gonna have to live with it. I'll take a risk short term if it helps me potentially go farther in this game. I'm in it for the end. You know, he's in it for the long haul here. And he says, there's gonna be blood on my hands no matter what today. And I'm gonna try to play this game rationally and not emotionally. I may just be setting off a stack of dynamite under my feet, but I may also be saving my game as well. And then he says, wow, 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 wow. Yay, I'm excited. This is a big deal. So right before nominations, Tommy comes into the HOH room and makes one more last minute pitch. This time he's saying that Cliff should put up one player from each side. So like Jack or Jackson versus Nick or Bella. And he's like, and you know, if you do that, you won't get a lot of blood on your hands and it keeps you safe moving forward. Stop. Oh, so he can have both sides mad at him? Come on. So then it was time for the nomination ceremony. Cliff Hug the Third put up Jack and Jackson on the block on the weekend of Rockstar's daughter's birthday. I can. He just did that. Oh my god, it's a glorious, glorious moment. Woo! So after the ceremony, I was not expecting that from Cliff. From like last week. I mean, once he won HOH and I saw him having conversations, I was like, oh yeah, he might do something huge here. But like when he actually did it, I'm so proud of him. Okay, so after the ceremony, Tommy is crying. Come on! He is so into Jack. I don't know why, because Jack is totally, he's awful. He's awful. But I guess Tommy is like blinded by love or something. So Tommy goes to the target bedroom. He's trying to manifest Christie coming in. He's like, Christie, come in the room. Christie, come in. Christie, come in now. And it actually works. But Jack walks in first. So he's hugging Tommy. He's telling him it's going to be okay. And then Christie comes in and she's just like, whoa, I feel bad. I feel like it should be me up there. And Jack's like, no, it's okay. I'm going to get myself down. So Tommy says his gut reaction after these nominations is for the 6 shooters to mend things with Nick and Bella and go after Cliff next week. Are you joking right now? Are you joking? Why do you think they would still want to work with you and go after somebody who clearly wants to go after their enemies? Come on. Oh my god. So anyway, Christie says Nick and Bella are already aligned with Cliff. It's not going to happen. But Tommy, he cannot let it go. He's going to be talking about this the whole rest of the day. Ugh. All right, so Jack says at this point it's an individual save yourself kind of game. You know, him and Jackson are both going to be playing for that power veto, and whoever wins, that person's going to be safe, and the other person, not so much. So Christie says, you know what, a lot can still happen. Sis, Holly, and Sam are in there now at that point. Nick joins eventually, and Christie says, we need to find a bigger target and get that person on the block. We will have the votes to take out the replacement nominee. Will you? I don't know. It could be close depending on who goes up. And Christie also reminds them, I have a power. We know, everybody knows. So anyway, Jack says, fine, I'm gonna go clean up. Nope. He is petty, and he starts messing with and throwing away some of Cliff's cereal boxes that he's been saving up. Cliff just wants to use those boxes to build like a rocket ship and a space helmet because he wants to reenact the moon landing for the 50th anniversary. That's so sad. Oh my god, that he's like trying to mess with his little fun craft activity. So Sam saw Jack doing this while he was eating his yogurt in the kitchen, and he reported it back to the group, and they all agree, wow, that's not a good look. You're just seeing that now? Yeah, your friend is a jerk. Okay, so Christie and Christie and Nick chat alone, and he asks her, are you actually going to use your power this week on Jack or Jackson? And she says, no, keep your mouth closed. She says that she already knows how she's going to get out of it. You know, everybody knows how she feels about being bullied by a guy. So as soon as they start saying, you have to use it, you have to use it, you have to use it, that's going to be her defense for not using it. I hope she's serious, because that would be epic. I kind of have my doubts, though. I mean, let's keep in mind she's talking to Nick right now. She's telling all the 6 shooters that she would absolutely use her power, and she's telling everybody else that she wants to save it for herself if she needs it, and she's not going to use it this week, but I don't know. I think she's probably going to use it, but we'll see. So then Christie and Jack are chatting, and Christie says, obviously, if Nick or Bella were to win the POV, she's not going to activate her power, because that gives the diamond power veto to whoever has the veto, and they can't trust Nick and Bella anymore. So no. I mean, this would be hilarious if Nick or Bella won POV and Christie used the power, and then I'm pretty sure Christie would still be eligible to go up on the block. So imagine they picked her. So she's not gonna risk that. But Jack says, you know, he's got his power still too, so if we don't get good veto picks, he's gonna use his power. Alright, so Christie's like, I don't get why Jackson volunteered to go up on the block. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it's not sitting well with her, because she feels like he is really trying to play like the hero of the group, because he keeps saying, oh, I wanted to go up on the block so that I could protect everybody else so that they wouldn't go up on the block. And she says it's really corny. She doesn't like it. Seems like she's really not liking Jackson right now. I wonder why. Maybe because he's an a-hole. But anyway, Christie says if it's Jack versus Jackson on eviction night, she's keeping Jack. Duh. So Jack says if he stays this week and he wins the next HOH, he's not going to be putting Cliff up next week. He still wants to take a shot at Nick or Bella. And that's exactly why Cliff made the move that he did. Alright, so then later on, Christie, Cliff, Tommy, and Jess were all chatting in Camp Have Not. And Christie says everyone knows about her power and what it does. So she vows that she will be open and honest with it. She's only going to use it if needed, and solely to benefit her game, and she'll be in communication with everyone. We know, because Christie's got to talk about everything with everyone, all hours of the day and night. It's going to be exhausting until she uses this power or it expires. You just know it. So anyway, she says she's going to take the HOH into account as well, because she wouldn't want her own HOH bamboozled. Okay, I'm sure you're gonna think really hard about it. So Cliff says he really appreciates that, and he says if any of the have-nots need to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, you can go ahead and use the HOH bathroom, because he doesn't want to have them walk all the way downstairs when they can just go next door. I was waiting for him to be like, y'all not having sex in my shower though. I guess that shower is probably gonna be off limits for the couples this week, right? Cliff Hogg laying down the law. Alright, so then Cliff leaves, and Tommy immediately gets all upset and emotional and like starts crying. And they're like, what's wrong, Tommy? And he says, it's not right. The way it's panning out isn't right. And Christie says, Cliff's gotta do what he's gotta do. And Tommy says, he's a little disappointed, to be honest. He says, I'm grateful that I'm not on the block, but I expected more from Cliff, to be honest with you. What? He says, it's not right. It didn't have to be this way. He wasn't gonna go up for a while. What? Okay, did you forget that you just evicted him last week? Why would he not target you guys? Are you kidding me? So Christie says, hello, we voted him out last week. So thankfully she like is taking that into consideration here. She says, you can't take it personally. You know, this is the best move for Cliff's game. To be honest, I'm disappointed in Tommy. I wanted so badly to root for him. I really liked what he was doing in the beginning, but now that he's just like so obsessed with Jack and like trying to get this 8 back together and everything, what are you doing? And like the way he handled the whole Nicole situation last week, ugh, not a fan. So anyway, Christie says again, if anyone tells her what to do with her power, she's gonna do the opposite. I hope so, because that'd be fun. So then like 15 minutes later, they're still talking. Christie is talking about the power again, and she says, you know, I'm not heartless, but she says she feels expendable to Jack, Jackson, Holly, and Sis. She's convinced that those 4 will stick together and get rid of her and Tommy before they go after each other. I really feel like Jack is 100% committed to Christie though. She says that she's not going to put her life in this game on the line for someone who A, has shown an ugly side to them, B, well, I just want to say after hearing A, it could have been any of the 6, right? But then she says B, acts like he's the president of the kitchen, president of the food, president of our club, president of me. So obviously when she mentions the food, it's clear that she's talking about Jackson. But like Jack sucks too. But she was, you know, talking a lot about Jackson last night and how he's mean and she doesn't like him. She really doesn't like how he's trying to say that he went up as a pawn this week and he volunteered because she feels like he would have gone up anyway. So it doesn't count. Yeah. So then Cliff and Nicole checked in again last night, and Nicole says this relationship is really like the only thing that she feels comfortable with and has some faith in at this point. So Cliff says, yeah, hopefully Jack won't win the power veto, but if he does and Christie uses her power, they're probably gonna put up Nick or Bella, and we're just gonna have to go with it. You know, we're just gonna have to go with the flow here and back away from them. So Cliff says if they do get Jack out, there aren't that many huge comp threats on the other side if you think about it, besides like Christie. You know, nobody else has really won anything besides Christie and Jack on that side. So he says on our side, we'd have me, Nick. Nick is kind of cheap though, because I feel like his competition was a crapshoot, but sure. Sam, Jess has come close a few times. So they've got some strong players on their side. So then they reaffirm that the 2 of them are tight. Yes, I hope this is legit because I want to see them work together. They say they're going to continue to play it off like they're not that close because obviously they don't need people knowing that. And Cliff is saying, Nicole, you should keep tabs on the 6, you know, try and keep that up. I'll keep tabs on the other side, Sam, Nick, and Bella, and we can, you know, bring that information to each other. And he's saying we can get rid of Nick and Bella eventually, of course, but for now, we should really focus on breaking up the 6, getting things a little bit more even. So, a few quick tidbits from the rest of last night. Christie is targeting Bella, and that's who she would want to go up if she uses her power. Tommy is still saying he would like to reunite the 8 next week to take out Cliff or Sam. Oh my god, are you freaking dreaming? Okay, and Christie says that she would only use the power if the veto was going to be used to take Jack down and put up Bella. She doesn't want to use it if Jackson is coming down, and she doesn't want to use it if somebody else is planning on putting up like Sam or somebody like that, because she feels like it could be a really close vote and she doesn't want to lose one of her own allies and blow her power, you know? So if she's gonna use her power, she wants it to be for what she wants done. She also does not like how Jackson is acting like the hero. I feel like she wouldn't mind if Jackson went. So anyway, if Jack and Jackson were to remain on the block until Thursday, Christie and Tommy want Jackson to go. I don't think it would be up to you, because that would be 2 people of the 6 up on the block. You would only have 4 of them voting. And then there's all those other people. So I think other people would be deciding. So then also Jack told the rest of the 6 shooters about his veto redraw power. Tommy is trying to change the renom pick from Bella to Sam if Christie were to use her power. He says Sam had 2 one-on-ones with Cliff, and he helped get Jack and Jackson up on the block. Why would Sam work with you guys? He was 9 in an alliance of 8, and you were already targeting him before anyway. Come on. So then this morning, they had the power veto player picks, and Jack used his redraw power. I'm not sure who the original picks were, but he was saying before, if there weren't at least 2 of the 6 drawn to play with them, he was gonna do the redraw. So the players are Cliff, Jack, Jackson, and then the 3 extras. These are the redo ones, Sis, Kat, and Sam. So I think the 6 feel pretty good with Kat, because she's supposed to be like a mole for them, and she is very tight with Jackson and Holly. And apparently from what Holly was saying today, she's known Kat in the outside world for like 7 years now, and they have a lot of mutual friends. Cool, that's great. And Holly was saying like, oh, if either of us were to screw the other over, it would look really crappy. That's pretty shitty. Anyway, Jack and Jackson keep saying that they're gonna freaking win this thing, but they really hope it's not gonna be a puzzle. That's hilarious. Okay, so then it was time for the power veto competition. The feeds went down for a few hours. I'm not sure what it was yet, because the feeds had like just come back by the time I was getting ready to shoot this video. But I do know that Jackson won the power veto. So now, you know, the question here is, what is Christie gonna do? She didn't want to have to use the power if it wasn't gonna be Jack coming off the block. But if she doesn't use the power, imagine Jackson pulls himself down and like Cliff put up Christie. That'd be funny. So yeah, I feel like she's probably gonna end up using this power, right? It's gonna be interesting. I feel like it's gonna be a really painful process getting to this veto ceremony on Monday, because you know how Christie is. But let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.